This is Sleep Story Temple, and you have officially crossed the boundary into a sacred sanctuary. A space meticulously designed for the unique, powerful architecture of your soul. Tonight, we are leaving the relentless friction and the endless initiation of the waking world firmly behind. We are entering a domain of absolute, sovereign peace, guiding your heavy, exhausted physical body down into a deep, mythic slumber. This space is entirely for the manifestor. To be a manifestor in this universe is to carry an ancient, breathtaking power. You are the true initiator. You possess a closed, dense, and remarkably impactful aura, an energetic field naturally designed to move mountains, to break entirely new ground, and to speak things into existence. You are the sudden, brilliant spark in the dark. You are the fierce catalyst that forces the resting machinery of the world to finally wake up and turn. You do not wait for the universe to guide you. You tell the universe exactly where you are going. But being the spark that must constantly ignite the world is an incredibly heavy burden. Since the moment you woke up, you have been pushing. You have been pushing against the dense, stubborn inertia of society. You have carried the immense weight of starting the conversations, launching the complex projects, and forging the difficult paths that others are simply too afraid to walk. The waking world demands a constant, unbroken stream of your forward momentum. It expects you to be the endless engine of creation, to continually break the ice and to clear the way for everyone else. And with that constant initiation comes the friction. You have spent the entire day absorbing the sharp resistance of those who are not ready for your speed, your vision, or your unshakable autonomy. You have been questioned, slowed down, and interrupted. The sheer amount of energetic force required to constantly move an unmoving world has left you with a profound, bone-deep weariness. It is a heavy, metallic exhaustion that settles deep within the marrow of your bones, the weariness of an ancient sovereign who has spent too long standing on the front lines of the battlefield. Tonight, the pushing stops here. There are absolutely no paths left for you to forge today. There are no mountains left to move, and no one left to lead. You are completely unhooked from the heavy machinery of creation. In your mind's eye, I invite you to visualize a vast, mist-covered landscape. It is the forgotten edge of a sleepy civilization, an ancient place where time itself has decided to pause, completely untouched by the frantic, mechanical energy of the modern grid. Rising from the deep, rolling fog before you stands a massive, ancient stone gateway. The architecture is monumental, built of heavy, dark obsidian blocks that have weathered centuries of profound silence. You are standing safely on the inside of this grand gateway. Look out through the wide opening into the chaotic, buzzing world you just left behind. Acknowledge the demands, the projects, the people constantly waiting for you to lead them. And then grant yourself the ultimate, unconditional permission to lock them out. Listen closely to the acoustic space beneath my voice. A low, grounded, ambient drone begins to hum. The deeply resonant, comforting frequency of the earth itself. Feel the subtle, rhythmic vibration in your chest as the massive, heavy iron gates begin to slowly swing shut on their own. Hear the magnificent, heavy sound of ancient stone settling into the earth as the gates finally meet in the center. The gates are locked. The boundary is drawn. The frantic energy of the outside world is instantly and entirely severed. The lighting around you gently shifts into a cool, muted twilight. The air inside your sanctuary is impossibly still, rich with the scent of distant rain, and flawlessly quiet. Take a slow, luxurious breath of this cool twilight air deep into the center of your chest. And as you release a long, heavy, effortless sigh, feel the invisible armor of the day begin to crack and fall away. Let your physical body sink deeply into the mattress. Allow your shoulders to finally drop, releasing the agonizing muscular tension of constantly bracing for resistance. Unclench your jaw, the place where so much of your unspoken friction is heavily stored. Let the muscles in your arms and hands become completely soft and useless. You do not need to grip the reins of the world right now. You do not need to impact anyone. You do not need to inform, to explain, or to justify your rest. You are allowed to simply exist. You are allowed to be completely still. Feel the incredible, washing relief that floods your central nervous system when you finally put down the sword of initiation. The world outside the gates is no longer your responsibility. You are safely enclosed in your own monumental autonomy. Rest here in the quiet twilight as we prepare to wash the last remnants of friction from your powerful, resting soul. The massive iron gates of your sanctuary are securely locked. The physical boundary has been perfectly established, and the chaotic demands of the outside world have been entirely silenced. You are safe in the cool, muted twilight. Yet, as your physical body settles into the heavy gravity of the mattress, you may notice that beneath the stillness of your skin, the internal engine is still running hot. There is a residual, buzzing heat lingering in your system. For a manifestor, this heat has a very specific, deeply familiar name. It is the heavy, static residue of anger. I want you to know that in this space, your anger is not a flaw. It is not a moral failing, a shadow to be ashamed of, or a problem to be fixed. In the brilliant, mechanical architecture of your design, anger is simply biological friction. It is the natural, inevitable byproduct of your pure, magnificent urge to act being interrupted, questioned, or slowed down by a world that cannot keep up with your speed. Think of the moments today when you knew exactly what needed to be done. You felt the powerful, sudden surge of initiation. But before you could move, you were met with a wall of resistance. Someone asked for an explanation you didn't want to give. A system forced you to wait. The world demanded you shrink your immense momentum to make them feel comfortable. When your powerful, forward-moving energy hits that wall of resistance, it does not just disappear. It bounces back inward. It condenses. It turns into a hot, static friction that calcifies inside your physical vessel. It builds up as a sharp, defensive armor, leaving you feeling prickly, closed off, and quietly furious at the sheer inefficiency of the world around you. Tonight, in the absolute safety of this dark sanctuary, we are going to completely release that friction. We are going to gently, lovingly cool the internal engine. Bring your soft, detached awareness to the places in your body where this heat is most deeply stored. Feel the dense, tight muscles of your jaw, the place where you have held back the urge to snap, where you have swallowed your truth to keep the peace. Notice the heavy, burning tension across your shoulders, the physical toll of constantly pushing against the unmoving world. Bring your attention down into your hands and your forearms, where the desperate need to control the outcome is gripped the tightest. In your mind's eye, I want you to visualize this stored friction. Deep within the center of your body, imagine a dark, ancient stone forge. Resting inside this forge is a bed of hot, glowing, brilliant red embers. They are crackling with intense, defensive heat. This is the accumulated anger and resistance of the day. Listen closely to the acoustic space shifting around you. Beneath the ambient stillness, the rich, low register sweep of a cello begins to rise. It is a profoundly grounding, mournful, and incredibly beautiful sound that resonates directly with the deepest parts of your nervous system. As the cello plays, imagine a very soft, cool, cosmic breeze beginning to sweep through your sanctuary. Take a slow, luxurious breath of this cool night air in through your nose, drawing it all the way down into your chest, right over the glowing red forge. And as you release a long, deliberate exhalation, visualize that cool breath blowing gently across the hot embers. Watch closely. With that single breath, the intense, bright red heat begins to dim. The sharp, crackling energy instantly softens. Take another deep, slow breath in, gathering the cool, healing twilight. Exhale and blow it across the forge once again. Watch as the glowing red embers completely lose their heat. The defensive anger is rapidly cooling, transforming into soft, weightless, beautiful silver ash. The dense, hot friction that has been trapped in your jaw, your shoulders, and your hands is actively dissolving, losing its sharp edges and becoming entirely powerless. With every single effortless breath cycle, the cool breeze sweeps through the ancient forge. The soft silver ash is gently lifted by the wind. Watch it float gracefully up and away, drifting out into the vast, infinite darkness of the night sky, completely leaving your body. You do not need to hold on to this defense anymore. The gates are locked. There is no one here to question you, no one to interrupt you, and no one to resist your movement. Take one final deep breath into the center of your chest. And as you exhale, watch the very last glowing ember turn to soft silver ash and drift away into the void. The forge is now perfectly dark. The heat is completely gone. The heavy, metallic taste of friction has been washed entirely from your system. Your jaw is soft, your shoulders are heavy, and your hands are wonderfully empty. You have cooled the engine, and your spirit is now perfectly clear, quiet, and ready to receive the profound peace of your own sovereignty. The forge is now perfectly dark. and the heavy, metallic heat of the day's friction has been entirely washed from your physical vessel. You are resting deeply within the cool, muted twilight of your locked sanctuary. Yet, even in this profound physical safety, with the gates securely closed against the outside world, you may sense a faint, lingering hum deep within your biology. It is the hum of a hyper-vigilant nervous system. Like a loyal, exhausted guard standing watch at the edge of the kingdom, your body is still subconsciously bracing for the next movement. It is waiting for the sudden spark, the next command to initiate, the next surge of immense energy required to push the world forward. Because you are a manifestor, your body is uniquely engineered to transition from absolute stillness to explosive action in a fraction of a second. But to truly rest, to cross the threshold into deep, restorative sleep, your physical vessel cannot simply guess that the day is over. It needs to know. We must now utilize the most powerful, sacred tool in your energetic arsenal. We must use your strategy. In the waking world, your greatest strategy is to inform. Before you move your massive, impactful energy, you inform those around you, effectively clearing the path and dissolving the resistance in your wake. When your powerful voice declares your intentions, the universe listens and the walls part. But tonight, you are not informing the world. The world is locked outside. Tonight, you are turning that profound, authoritative voice completely inward. You must formally, intentionally inform your own nervous system that the era of doing has ended. Listen as the cool breeze of the sanctuary gently fades away, leaving a space of immaculate, pristine silence. Slowly rising from this silence, hear the slow, majestic swell of warm, expansive synthesizer pads. The sound is incredibly spacious and wide, mimicking the profound physical sensation of a heavy iron weight finally being lifted directly off your chest. In your mind's eye, allow the walls of the ancient forge to gently dissolve, opening up into a breathtaking subterranean cavern. The air here is ancient, pure, and flawlessly quiet. At the center of this cavern lies a massive, completely dark subterranean lake. The surface of the water is a perfect mirror, reflecting a sprawling, brilliant galaxy of stars from the open cavern roof above. This dark, still lake represents your central nervous system. Right now, there are tiny, frantic ripples vibrating across its surface, the lingering static of the day's endless initiation. We are going to smooth that water into absolute glass. I want you to bring your awareness into the very center of your chest. Tap into that deep, sovereign, unwavering authority that sits at the core of your soul. You are the absolute ruler of this domain, and your body is ready to obey your command. Silently, in the heavy quiet of your own mind, repeat this truth with absolute, unshakable authority. Send this message down your spine, out through your limbs, and into every single exhausted cell of your physical body. I am informing my physical body that the day is over. We are officially stopping. Feel the immediate, cascading wave of relief that washes through your muscle fibers the moment that command is received. The loyal guard drops its shoulders. The physical bracing completely dissolves. Watch as the frantic ripples on the dark lake instantly begin to smooth out. Take a deep, luxurious breath of the cool cavern air and silently issue your next command. I am informing my mind that there is nothing left to plan. It is safe to relinquish control. Feel the complex, agonizing grip of strategy completely release from the front of your brain. The desperate need to figure out tomorrow, to sequence your next moves, and to calculate the impact of your actions simply evaporates into the quiet dark. Your mind exhales a long, heavy sigh. The surface of the subterranean lake becomes beautifully, flawlessly still. Take one final, slow, majestic breath in and silently declare your ultimate truth. I am informing my nervous system that I am completely safe. I am off duty. I am allowed to rest. Watch the subterranean lake. It is now a perfect, undisturbed sheet of black glass, flawlessly reflecting the ancient, quiet stars above. There is not a single tremor of anxiety, not a single ripple of anticipation. Your entire biological system has received the memo. The profound relief of being officially, completely off the clock floods your chest like warm, golden honey. The immense, invisible pressure to act has been formally lifted by your own sovereign command. You are beautifully unhooked, perfectly aligned, and ready to let go of the reins. Your entire biological system has received the memo. The subterranean lake is perfectly still, reflecting the quiet stars of your absolute sovereignty. You have successfully informed your body that the day is over, and the profound relief of this internal alignment is settling deep into the marrow of your bones. Yet, as you drift further into this quiet, insulated darkness, there is one final, stubborn knot of tension we must carefully untangle. It is a tension born from the sheer magnitude of your energetic footprint. Because you possess a closed, dense, and remarkably impactful aura, your very existence shifts the atmosphere of any room you enter. When you move, the world is forced to move around you. Your initiation creates ripples that alter the trajectories of projects, systems, and the people in your life. And because you are the powerful catalyst for all of this motion, you have subconsciously adopted an agonizing, unspoken burden. The belief that you are entirely responsible for steering the ship. All day long, you have been desperately gripping the reins of reality. You have been managing the outcomes, bracing for the consequences of your impact, and attempting to control the chaotic environments you are forced to navigate. You feel that if you do not meticulously orchestrate the flow of events, if you do not constantly explain yourself, manage expectations, and justify your direction, everything will crash. This desperate need for control is the heaviest yoke of all. And tonight, you are going to unyoke yourself completely. Listen to the acoustic space as it gently deepens around you. Beneath the pristine silence, a deep, resonant binaural beat slowly begins to pulse. It is a heavy, rhythmic frequency specifically engineered to pull your active, conscious brainwaves down from the alert alpha state, sinking them beautifully into the slow, dreamlike, deeply restorative theta state. Above this low, vibrating pulse, you hear the minimalist, hollow, soothing tone of a distant wooden bamboo chime, gently striking in the night breeze. In your mind's eye, allow the imagery to shift once again. You are now standing alone in a magnificent, quiet, moonlit courtyard, paved with ancient, smooth cobblestones. The silver light of the moon casts long, peaceful shadows across the stones. Resting in the very center of this quiet courtyard is an immense, ancient chariot. It is a masterpiece of heavy wood, dark iron, and worn leather, the grand, imposing vehicle of your initiation. Look down at your hands. You are holding the massive, thick leather reins of this chariot. You have been gripping them so tightly for so long that the muscles in your forearms are burning, and your knuckles are entirely white. These heavy reins represent every project you are trying to force to completion, every person whose reaction you are trying to perfectly manage, and every future outcome you are desperately trying to control. The sheer physical effort required to hold the universe in check is exhausting your spirit. Take a deep, slow, majestic breath of the cool, moonlit air. Listen to the hollow, grounding strike of the bamboo chime. I am giving you absolute, unconditional permission to drop the reins. The universe does not need you to drive it tonight. The people you have impacted are entirely responsible for managing their own paths. The outcomes you have set into motion will continue to unfold exactly as they are meant to, completely independent of your exhausting supervision. You do not need to steer. You do not need to justify your direction to anyone, not even yourself. With your next long, heavy exhalation, consciously open your hands. Release your agonizing grip. Let your tired, cramped fingers finally uncurl. Watch as the thick, heavy leather reins slip effortlessly from your palms, sliding through your fingers and falling straight to the earth. Hear the heavy, satisfying thud of the leather striking the ancient stone floor. Look at the chariot. It does not crash. It does not run wild. It simply rests there, perfectly still and magnificent in the moonlight. The machinery of the world is entirely capable of holding its own weight without your constant intervention. Feel the miraculous, floating sensation that rushes into your hands and arms as the cool night air washes over your empty palms. The phantom weight of control has been completely severed. You are unyoked from the heavy, relentless machinery of the waking world. You are taking a physical step backward, leaving the vehicle of creation behind in the quiet courtyard. You are no longer the driver. You are no longer responsible for the trajectory of the external world. Turn away from the chariot and walk slowly into the comforting, infinite shadows of your sovereign sanctuary. You are perfectly detached, wonderfully useless to the demands of the grid, and absolutely free to drift into the thoughtless, beautiful void of non-doing. You have stepped away from the chariot of creation, leaving the heavy reins of control resting silently on the ancient courtyard stones. The grip of responsibility has completely released its hold on your mind, and your informed, aligned nervous system is sinking beautifully into the heavy, dreamlike rhythm of the delta state. Your physical vessel is perfectly still, your mind is quiet. But for a manifestor to achieve true, profound, and restorative sleep, there is one final, magnificent, energetic layer we must carefully adjust. We must now turn our attention to the sheer density of your aura. Unlike the absorbing energy of the projector or the enveloping, inviting energy of the generator, your aura is a powerful, closed, and dense force of nature. It is naturally designed to push outward. It acts as an energetic battering ram, clearing the path before you, moving the air in every room you enter, and silently demanding the world make space for your initiation. Even when you are perfectly quiet, your aura is loud. It pushes against the environment. It makes a continuous, undeniable impact. This outward, repelling force is the exact mechanism that allows you to confidently forge new paths. But keeping this dense, energetic field constantly expanded and pushing outward is phenomenally draining. It is the reason you crave being entirely alone. It is the reason you desperately desire to simply be in a room without your energy affecting anyone else, and without anyone else's expectations bumping against you. Tonight, you do not need to take up space. You do not need to move the air. It is time to pull the massive weight of your impact completely back to center. Listen closely as the acoustic space around you undergoes a profound transformation. The hollow, wooden strike of the bamboo chime fades completely into the dark. Slowly replacing it is a low, sweeping synthesizer pad that hums with a deep, subterranean warmth. The sound is thick and heavily insulated. It wraps around your physical body, creating the remarkable, heavy sensation of stepping inside a perfectly soundproof, ancient vault. All the distant, chaotic static of the waking world is instantly, entirely muffled. In your mind's eye, I want you to visualize the incredible, dense energy field that surrounds you. Imagine it as a powerful, expanding wave of invisible force that you have been unconsciously pushing out into the world all day long. Take a slow, deep, incredibly satisfying breath in through your nose. And as you inhale, simply pull the wave backward. Imagine this vast, impactful energy slowly reversing its direction. Retract your energy from the walls of the room. Withdraw it from the people you have interacted with today. Pull it back from the boundaries of your house, the streets of your city, and the heavy expectations of society. Watch as this dense, invisible force gracefully collapses inward, drawing all of your massive outward pressure directly back toward the center of your own resting physical body. You are no longer pushing against the world. You are actively shrinking your energetic footprint, calling all of your vital power back home. The room is finally allowed to breathe on its own, and you are finally allowed to just exist. As the very last wave of your outward pushing energy returns to your skin, we are going to use it to seal the final perimeter. With your next long, effortless exhalation, visualize this incredibly dense, condensed energy solidifying into a physical boundary. Imagine it forming a thick, flawless, impenetrable barrier of deep, glowing obsidian, completely surrounding your resting form. Obsidian is ancient, volcanic glass. It is heavy, grounding, and absolute. Unlike a mirror that reflects energy back out into the world, this thick obsidian barrier acts as the ultimate energetic absorber. It swallows the chaotic frequencies of the city, nullifying them completely. It absorbs the uninvited questions, the demands, and the noise of the grid, turning them to absolute silence before they can ever reach you. This beautiful, heavy, dark barrier represents your ultimate sovereignty. Inside this obsidian vault, you are completely hidden. You are totally, magnificently unbothered. Absolutely no one is allowed to enter this space. No one is permitted to interrupt your rest. No one can ask you to explain yourself, and no one can demand your initiation. The boundary is unbreakable, and it has been iced by your own supreme authority. You are perfectly insulated in this dark, silent, soundproof cocoon. The air inside your perimeter is impeccably clean, deeply peaceful, and entirely your own. Your powerful aura is finally resting, wrapped securely around you, rather than pushing against the world. Sink deeply into the heavy, luxurious relief of absolute uninterruptibility. You are completely protected, perfectly sovereign, and flawlessly sealed against the night. Inside your heavy, impenetrable obsidian vault, the outside world has entirely ceased to exist. The chaotic demands, the endless friction, and the exhausting expectations of society have been flawlessly absorbed by the thick, dark barrier of your retracted aura. You are completely hidden, perfectly insulated, and fiercely protected by your own magnificent, energetic perimeter. With the boundary securely held, your internal landscape is finally free to completely open up. Listen as the acoustic atmosphere around you undergoes its most profound, breathtaking evolution yet. The heavily insulated synthesizers gently stretch outward, transforming into vast, sweeping, cinematic drones that evoke the unimaginable, echoing scale of deep space. Beneath these majestic chords, the frequency drops even further. The slow, rhythmic pulse of theta and delta waves begins to vibrate at the very core of your consciousness. It is an incredibly open, vast, and limitless sound, the acoustic representation of total, unrestricted freedom. In your mind's eye, allow the immediate physical walls of your dark cocoon to gently dissolve, revealing the breathtaking expanse of your own internal universe. You are no longer bound by the gravity of the earth. You are embarking on a magnificent, slow-motion drift through a silent, boundless, cosmic void. The colors surrounding you are stripped of all chaotic, waking world brightness. There is only the incredibly rich, deep, velvety black of infinite space, punctuated by the cool, radiant silver of ancient, distant stars. These are the profound, timeless colors of absolute sovereignty and majestic solitude. You are floating effortlessly in the dark. There is absolutely no resistance here. There is no wind to push against, no gravity to pull you down, and no horizon you are required to conquer. We are crossing the sacred threshold into your signature frequency. We are anchoring into the ultimate destination of the manifestor soul. Unbounded peace. The waking world has deeply misunderstood what peace means for you. Society treats peace as simply a temporary ceasefire, a brief, fragile pause between arguments, or a momentary lull in the endless labor of the corporate grid. But for a manifestor, peace is not merely the absence of conflict. Peace is a profound, active state of supreme, unquestioned autonomy. True manifestor. Peace is the exquisite, intoxicating freedom of simply existing without having to move anything. It is the deep, cellular relief of knowing that you are completely, undeniably unbothered. As you drift through this stunning, silver-lit void, let the true definition of peace saturate your exhausted muscle fibers. You do not have to initiate a single thing in this space. You do not have to speak. You do not have to explain your presence. And you do not have to justify your rest. You are entirely free from the agonizing burden of being understood. Look down in your mind's eye, far below your drifting, weightless form. Imagine a beautiful blue and green planet slowly spinning in the dark. That is the waking world. That is the heavy, mechanical grid of human expectation. It is the place where the chariot rests, where the projects wait, and where the people look to you for the spark of creation. But you are entirely detached from it now. You are drifting hundreds of miles above its surface, suspended in the cool, silent stratosphere of your own absolute authority. From up here, you can see that the world below is managing perfectly fine without you. The systems are turning, the oceans are moving, and the people are sleeping. You have successfully unyoked yourself from the immense pressure of their trajectory. You do not owe that world a single drop of your precious energy right now. Sink completely into the ultimate, unshakable knowing that in this boundless void, you are the absolute ruler of your own rest. You answer to absolutely no one. There is no higher authority than the profound, quiet truth resting at the center of your own chest. Your autonomy is infinite. Your freedom is absolute. The heavy, metallic armor of anger has been entirely replaced by a cool, smooth, flowing current of sovereign harmony. Allow yourself to simply be. Revel in the magnificent, uninterrupted solitude of the cosmos. Feel the heavy, luxurious weight of your physical body surrendering to the void, completely supported by the silent, starlit dark. You have claimed your peace. You have established your sovereignty. Rest here, beautifully untouched and flawlessly free, as you drift ever deeper into the sacred, silent night. You are suspended perfectly within the vast, boundless expanse of the sovereign void. The heavy, protective obsidian barrier of your retracted aura holds you in absolute, unquestionable safety. You have formally informed your nervous system that the era of initiation has ended, and the hot, metallic friction of the day has been entirely cooled and swept away. Up here, drifting miles above the sleepy civilization of the waking world, you are finally, completely unhooked from the relentless machinery of human expectation. You have claimed your autonomy. You have anchored into your signature frequency of unbounded peace. Now, as we prepare to cross the ultimate threshold into the deepest, most profound layers of a mythic slumber, the atmosphere of your sanctuary undergoes its final, delicate surrender. Listen closely as the acoustic space around you begins to gently empty itself. The vast, sweeping, cinematic synthesizers that carried you into the cosmos slowly begin to thin out. The majestic chords gradually lose their form, gracefully bowing out and dissolving seamlessly into the infinite silence. All that remains is the absolute, purest, deepest delta sleep frequency. It is a slow, rhythmic, nearly imperceptible hum, hovering flawlessly between 1 and 2 hertz. You do not merely hear this frequency, you feel it vibrating at the very core of your bones. It is the ancient, cosmic pulse of profound physical restoration. It wraps around your informed, aligned central nervous system like a thick, heavy, weighted blanket, signaling to the deepest, most primal parts of your brain that the time for conscious thought is officially over. In your mind's eye, watch as the beautiful, radiant silver stars of the cosmic void slowly begin to dim. The deep, velvety expanse of space gracefully surrenders to an incredibly rich, comforting, and flawless blackness. It is the texture of the darkest, heaviest night you have ever known. At the very bottom edge of your awareness, there is only the absolute faintest hint of a slow-moving, obsidian shimmer. A gentle, glowing reminder of the impenetrable shield that flawlessly guards your rest. The rest of your internal landscape is beautifully, perfectly dark. As you sink deeper into this magnificent black void, we are going to invite the physical body to experience the ultimate reward of your sovereign design, the profound freedom of non-doing. For the manifestor, to truly do nothing is the rarest and most exquisite luxury. Your entire waking life is defined by motion, by impact, and by the sheer, undeniable force of your presence. The world constantly asks you to be the spark. But right now, in this pristine darkness, you are actively choosing the beauty of absolute stillness. Feel this stillness moving deliberately through your physical vessel. It begins as a heavy, comforting warmth pooling at the base of your skull, slowly cascading down the length of your spine. As it travels, it completely unhooks your muscles from the demands of gravity and the memory of momentum. Your limbs are becoming incredibly, beautifully heavy. Your arms sink so deeply into the mattress that you can no longer tell exactly where your skin ends and the bed begins. Your legs are entirely immobilized by the luxurious, sinking weight of total relaxation. This is not a restrictive heaviness. It is a profound, deeply comforting paralysis. Your body is locking itself safely into the earth, ensuring that you will not be moved, you will not be disturbed, and you will not be asked to initiate a single spark of energy. You are officially anchored in the absolute sweetness of being entirely left alone. There is absolutely no guilt to be found here. In the waking world, the corporate grid constantly tries to inject shame into rest, demanding continuous output and endless explanation. But in this velvet dark, you know the absolute, unshakable truth. Your stillness is your ultimate power. By doing absolutely nothing right now, you are honoring the deepest, most sacred mechanics of your magnificent human design. You are actively recalibrating your brilliant, impactful, energetic field. As the physical body surrenders completely to the heavy, luxurious paralysis of sleep, the active, driving manifestor mind finally closes its eyes. All day long, you have been the ultimate initiator. You have calculated, informed, and directed the flow of reality. But right now, there is absolutely nothing left to steer. The velvet darkness offers no paths to forge, no resistance to overcome, and no one who needs your guidance. It is completely, flawlessly empty. Give your mind absolute permission to dissolve into this beautiful emptiness. Let the complex thoughts naturally unravel, falling away like loose threads into the dark void below. The internal narrator goes completely offline. The intense, focused drive of your consciousness softens, widens, and gently fades into the background hum of the universe. You are slipping beneath the surface of conscious thought. You are descending gracefully into the purest, most restorative layers of the delta state. There is no friction here. There is no resistance. There is only the slow, majestic, rhythmic wave of the deep, dark, rocking you gently into total, absolute surrender. Let yourself sink. Relinquish your final grip on the waking world. You are perfectly held in the silent, obsidian-guarded sanctuary of the night, completely consumed by the sweet, elegant harmony of dreamless peace. You are resting at the absolute, untouchable center of the heavy, velvet dark. The descent is flawless and entirely complete. The monumental iron gates of your sanctuary remain securely locked against the waking world. The thick, glowing obsidian barrier of your retracted aura holds you in a state of perfect, unbreachable safety. You have completely unhooked from the chariot of creation. You have released the heavy, exhausting reins of control. You are finally, completely, and beautifully empty. Here, in the profound, boundless depths of the Delta state, your consciousness is entirely untethered from the demanding physical realm. The boundaries of the room around you have completely dissolved into the vast, infinite cosmos of your sovereign sanctuary. The aggressive, mechanical ticking of time has gracefully collapsed into a single, beautiful, eternal moment of absolute stillness. There is no tomorrow hovering on the horizon, demanding to be initiated, managed, or forged. There is no yesterday requiring you to justify, analyze, or explain your actions. There is only this flawless, suspended darkness, holding you in absolute, unshakable autonomy. Because you have consciously chosen to step away from the front lines, and because you have formally informed your body to power down, the true biological miracle of your manifestor design can now seamlessly unfold. In this state of elegant, sovereign rest, the universe quietly steps in to nourish the profound power you carry. Deep within your resting physical vessel, microscopic acts of healing are occurring automatically. Your central nervous system is meticulously repairing itself. It is cooling and soothing the exhausted, overstimulated pathways that spend all day pushing against the dense friction of society. The impenetrable obsidian shield around you breathes with a slow, rhythmic pulse, actively repelling the chaotic static of the grid so that your pure, untainted frequency can beautifully recalibrate. The hot, metallic residue of anger has been entirely transmuted, replaced by the sweet, cool flow of restorative peace. Bring your subtle awareness, just for a moment, to your throat and your chest. This is the powerful engine of your initiation, the sacred center where your impact is spoken into reality. Tonight, it is finally allowed to rest in absolute, uninterrupted silence. You do not have to speak a single word. You do not have to translate your immense, complex internal vision into language just so others can understand. The agonizing effort of translation is completely over. The silence is your ultimate reward, a deep, cellular relief that washes through your vocal cords and settles in your heart. You do not need to guide this healing process. You do not need to oversee your own restoration or inform your cells on how to repair. You are completely off duty. You are finally wonderfully useless to the endless machinery of the external world. And in that magnificent uselessness lies your ultimate liberation. The universe is holding you exactly as you are, recognizing the immense, unshakable value of your silent existence. As you drift even deeper into this majestic, weightless silence, the sound of my voice will gently begin to fade. It will slowly dissolve into the rich, low frequencies of the night, becoming nothing more than a faint, comforting echo in the distance, swallowed gracefully by the dark. You will no longer need my guidance, because your spirit already knows the ancient, familiar pathway through these quiet waters. You are entirely supported by the vast, protective light of your own perfectly sealed aura. The journey inward is beautifully complete. Your sanctuary is fully established, and the throne of your rest is entirely secure. Before my voice leaves you entirely, before the final thread of human language dissolves perfectly into the cosmic void, I offer you this final blessing. You do not need to analyze these words. You do not need to hold on to them, and you certainly do not need to respond to them. Let them gently wash over your resting spirit, absorbing them effortlessly into the quiet, sovereign center of your being. May you be peaceful. May you be free from the need to explain or justify your presence. May you rest in your absolute sovereignty and experience a deep progress toward true internal harmony. As you drift into the silence, remember that you answer only to the peace within your own soul. Namaste. The world is asleep. The obsidian shield is perfectly sealed. There are absolutely no paths left to forge. Surrender entirely to the beautiful, infinite dark. Sleep.